Hi everyone, welcome to Kooyonga. I just thought I'd go through a swing tip here that's really related to the conditions that we see here in winter. In winter, what we tend to see in the bunkers particularly is that the sand gets very wet, very heavy, and it almost acts like glue. Now when we swing in a bunker, if we get the leading edge of the club swinging down into a very sticky or glue-like sand, what we're going to see is a loss of speed, and we hit the sand but we don't have enough power for the ball to get up and out. So we have to make an adaptation here. We have to make sure that we get everything in the right position so that I can get nice and aggressive, get the club down into the sand, get the loft of the club under the ball, but don't see the club get stuck. We're able to keep the speed going and see the ball pop up and out and onto the green. So how this is relevant to all of us is how we use our bottom hand. As right-handed golfers, what we tend to see is that the bottom hand is the one that generates the majority of the power. So when we take our club face and we open it marginally, as I take my grip with my right hand, if that is too far underneath on the grip, what we tend to see is as I now swing back towards the point of impact, I tend to want to get my palm in a position where it's facing the target. That's where I can impart the majority of the force going towards the target and create some power. That's the strongest position. So if that club face is open, but my right hand is too far underneath as I take my address, as I now swing and come back to impact, that palm gets into that position where it's facing the target. We can now see that the club face is now square. And if we haven't opened the club face enough to start off with, and that right hand is underneath, now when we come back, we actually see the club face is now actually closed. So we're endeavouring to do the right thing, but because our right hand or our bottom hand is incorrect on the grip, we're now seeing that leading edge being delivered to the sand and the club gets caught. So we see the ball stay in the bunker, and then all of a sudden our thought goes to, well, maybe I need to take less sand, and then all of a sudden the ball goes flying across the green. So if this sounds like you, this is going to be a really important tip. What I want you to focus on is this V shape that's formed between my thumb and my index finger. Once I have opened the club face in my setup, I want you to focus on that V shape, and I want you to place that V directly on top of the grip. To start off with, this will feel a little bit strange, but I want you to be really conscious that that V is directly on top of the grip, and this is specifically only for the bunker. But now as I swing, because that V is now on top of the grip, as I come back to impact, my palm is now facing the target and I'm creating a lot of force forwards towards the target, but the club face is still open. So the leading edge is up off of the sand, so now the club won't get caught. I can be nice and aggressive down into the sand, okay? I get that loft under the ball, the speed is not affected, and the ball pops up. So this is what it should look like. If I open up that club face just marginally, I pop that V directly on top of the grip, I can now be nice and aggressive in my swing down into the sand, and that ball doesn't get, the club doesn't get caught, and we see the ball pop up. Give this a go. If you have any issues, please come and see one of our great coaches. All the very best.